Hi everybody, it's Ginger from In Sheep's Clothing Yarn Shop here in Torrington, Connecticut, and welcome to my Shopcast. Thank you for joining today. I have a bunch of new things to show you, some new Della um, bags and some a really fun knitting crochet project. And I also want to talk about my spinning. So my Jacob Fleece came, so I want to talk about that, but I'll save that for later. But we'll get right into the knitting stuff first. So I hope that you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day here, and I'm back from my little vacation last weekend. I hope that you all had a good 4th of July weekend. So what did I get in? So Della Q, I had these were on order and they came in, and actually, so these are the cute little O Snaps bag. These are the O Snaps sacks, actually the rainbow O Snap sacks, and they're the cutest little bags. Great little one project, socks or just something small, little shawl. Love that it has the little hand, the little the little handle. That's what I want to say. And then, of course, your little snaps on the top. And then it has a little zipper pocket inside and then two side compartments. It's just a cute little size. So this is the color Ocean. And this is Sunset, which I'm kind of enamored with. I think I need to keep one of these for myself because I love this size. And then this would be great for just to throw in my bag and just, one of those little quickie projects that I need to work on. And then, so Sunset, and then we have Bloom in the pink. So you've got, they're all rainbow colorways, but really, really cute. And then they also come in a bigger size, which I did not get those. This size seems to be the most popular, but I can get the larger size if you're interested in that. It tends to be more, it's probably a little taller than this, and they're longer. So, yeah. So anyway, it's kind of a different shape, but I think I do have them up on the website. And so we have those, and then also, these were on back order for a while. So I had a bunch of people that pre-ordered these. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately for me, a couple of the colors they went right out, so I'll be reordering them. But this color, the indigo, I believe is what they call this one. Yeah, indigo. So this is what do they call this bag? They call this the Nora bucket bag. So there's also a little handle one, a little small one that's great for like socks and stuff like that. But this you can put like a whole sweater project in here. And what I like is, so it has the snaps on the top, which I kind of like. Why did they put the snaps? This is why, because when you unsnap it, then you have this whole big little bucket that you can just open up and very easily access. It has two pockets on the inside. I can show it to you this way. So there's two pockets there, and then there's one zippered pocket on the other side. And then what I love is the great big pockets on the outside. So that's great. And it also comes with, all their bags always include their little notebook. Oh, this one has two. I must have accidentally grabbed one from another one. Okay, so that has an extra notebook in it, in here. But then also, you know what must have happened? They must have switched them around. Okay, it has a little notebook, but then it also has, so here's the maroon, so same bag, but it has the little pin with the mark. Here it is. Okay, so they all come with this, the little pin with the little markers, little stitch markers, and those you can put on the outside of the bag right through those two grommets right there. So they all include that. So you get your little tapestry needle and your markers, and of course your wonderful bag. So this is the maroon, and it's like a really heavy duty canvas fabric, not the waxed. just a plain canvas, but it's nice and heavy duty. So it had the indigo, we had the maroon, and then this is the teal. Very pretty. But then there's also a sage, so a light green. Those, I will be reordering those. Sage, oh, and then the plum, which is really, really pretty. That will be coming back in as well. I already placed a reorder for that. So hopefully with another week or two, 10 days, I should be getting those. Maybe, actually, maybe not that long. I think they're getting a little quicker about getting reorders out like that. So if you like one of those, any of those, they're up on the website. And let's see, let's get this out of the way because I need to make room for my spinner later so we can do some spinning. Okay. Oh, and then another Della Q bag that I got for me. You have to order them in twos, so I do have an extra one. But this is the bag that I use when I got all my stuff in it. So this is the mesh canvas bag that I carry. I love this size. I love the outside. As you can see, the outside pocket is big enough to put like a full-size pattern, book, magazine, and then has your scissors inside. It has this, let's see, what else does it have? Oh, and they all come with these great canvas and mesh snap bags to put your tools in. And oh, I gotta take these out so I don't forget to talk about these later. And what else? Okay, so anyway, and then it also has a strap, which I don't use a strap. I carry the bag like this, and of course it has your snaps on the top. But it is a giant bag. I mean, I'm always overstuffing it. So the only thing that would have made this bag more perfect for me is if it had an outside like pocket for me to put my water bottle in. Or maybe even an inside one that would secure it and not let it move around. Because what happens is I don't actually carry water. I carry my iced tea, and that's what's in here, my iced tea. And when I go to put these in my handbag, never fails, no matter how much I prop it up, it will always spill, slosh around, and I end up with iced coffee in my bag. Cannot tell you how many times I've had to pull the lining out and wash it and let it dry so it doesn't smell like coffee. Now, so getting back to the bag that I did purchase. So they came out with a new bag, and I was kind of like on the fence about it because it's a canvas and mesh. But what they did was they made it a taller, narrower bag. But look what they did. They put two outside pockets, which are totally perfect for me to put, of course I tried to do it and I can't do it, for me to put my bottle in. The only problem is, and I solved this, is then you're a little bit heavy on one side. So by my putting my keys, just my keys, because my keys are so heavy, but my keys and my phone, I am nice and balanced and have no problem. And if it spills, it's not spilling inside my bag. So what I decided to do was, I have another Della Q bag that I've been using for my handbag, but I did spill coffee in it. But thank goodness I was able to pull the lining out and wash it. You know, not the whole lining, but just enough to wash it. But I said, you know what? What if I tried this bag? Because I really love the idea of the outside pocket. I'll tell you, if they put the pocket on the other bag, I would be loving life so much. But I am very happy with this. Plus, I really, every time I saw my sister with her olive bag, I just loved the color. It's funny because I was never an olive person, but I just love this bag. So anyway, oh, and yes, and I just love everything about this. So I've been using this now as my handbag. It's got plenty of room in it. I love the mesh bag in here that I have another bag in. But anyway, so this is working really well for me, and it's great. But I do have another one of these in the olive. I also have it in the maroon as well. Yeah, I do. So okay. So anyway, so enough about Della Q. Okay, let's see. What else was I? Let me get my notes over here because I want to make sure that I go over everything I want to talk about. Um, okay, then also I got in things that came in. I had this organic cotton in from Great Adirondack. This cotton is so gorgeously soft. Well, the best-selling color was hydrangea, and I mean, can you tell why? The blues, the greens, that purple. It's just the best, at least for my shop, the best-selling color. And then the second best was the Nantucket blue. It's just really pretty and cool. And I got more of this in because this scarf has been so popular. This one right here, just push it back a little bit so you can see it better. But this one here, this was the scarf called "May I Borrow This Please?" Let me grab the pattern. Stack of patterns here. Yes, "May I Borrow This Please" by Lorraine Waitman. And this is a free pattern. It's up on Ravelry, and I highly, highly recommend you checking it out. These skeins are 315 yards, DK weight. Look how pretty that is. What I like about it is it's so soft, and it's not too heavy. The fact that I tend to get a little overheated when I'm wearing something around my neck, unless it's like winter and it's really, really cold, or inside. But this I can wear and be perfectly comfortable and not feeling like I've got to take it off, because it's just very, very comfortable and so soft. It's not going to bother you at all. So anyway, I just want to let you know that the hydrangea is back in. And definitely check out that pattern, because you could do this in any weight that you want as well. It doesn't have to be DK. And it's super easy, and you'll breeze right through it. Okay, and then the other thing too is right now, okay, so we are celebrating Christmas in July. And why are we doing that? Because it's the middle of the year. It's hot as heck, and this is a great time to get started on some Christmas things, some holiday gifts. So what I decided to do was I found some patterns for some easy ornaments, little gifty things that we could have like a little class in the shop, and this is all stuff that you can go in, look in your stash, and find something to work with. So what we're going to do, so the next 2 Saturdays, not this Saturday, following Saturday, we're going to be doing gnomes. And then the Saturday after that, there's going to be Christmas trees. And then the Sunday after that, to keep it still in July, we are going to be doing crocheted Christmas balls. And they're so, so pretty. So what I'm doing right now is I started making, let me find them. I started making one of the gnomes. Let's see if he's in my bag here. Oh, I grabbed him. And he's done, except, well, he's not done then. I'm missing his arms. I have to put the arms on. And I'll do that tonight when I get home. Of course, I can't find him now. Alright, it's either... Alright, must be in this bag and I'm just not seeing it. Or I left it on my desk, as usual. Thought I grabbed everything that I needed. Story of my life. Yep, no, I don't know where it is. I'm not going to make you... Oh, see? I looked behind me and I found something else I wanted to talk about that I would definitely have forgotten about, because thinking might miss it all this time underneath all the fleece. Okay, so this is the little gnome, and this pattern is by Susan. Here's the pattern. Susan B. Anderson. And that's the pattern, and it's up on Ravelry. It is, I forget how much. I think it's a $7 pattern. But anyway, so this is my little guy. Now, what I haven't added his arms yet. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is his beard. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the fiber that I have, and I'm just going to needle felt it right onto him, so we'll have a little beard. So you'll get to see that next week, but this is what I'm doing for the class. And if you'd like to make this, it was fun. I mean, I made this last night. It was done in the round, double point needles, this little hat, you can take it off if you want. But there's so many different ways that you can make this. It would be so cute. So yeah, I just have to finish him up. So anyway, so that's next Saturday's class. And then the other thing, I needed to weight him down, and I had nothing here in the shop to put in. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, I put some pennies in the bottom. So anyway, that works really well. So he could sit. So anyway, so that's the gnome for next week. And so you'll get to see him. And then, okay, so that was the Christmas in July that I wanted to talk about. Oh, also, if you're into starting your ornaments now, I would recommend take a look at Ravelry. I have all 13 of the chiclets, the holiday chiclets from the last year's Advent calendar up. So they are there. All 12 plus 13. And then, oh, and I am working on the end of this month. I will be announcing that you can pre-order the Advent calendars. Not ready for it yet. Still working on my samples. Excuse me. So anyway, yes, working on that. And then okay. So the thing that I almost forgot about showing you, the new item that came in, I think I mentioned it. They're these little knitting kits. They're totally adorable for these little stuffed animals. And this is one of them, Emma Cat. How cute. It even comes with the stuffing. And the yarn is super soft. It's a cotton acrylic, and it has a little fuzziness to it. So it's really, really cute. Did I say it also comes with the stuffing? And this is from Hardycraft. It's a Danish, not Danish, from the Netherlands. So there's Emma Cat. And then that I have right now, I'm again reordering because these just, I mentioned them Wednesday on the What's New Wednesday, and they just flew out the door. Mies Panda. Now most of these are all knitting. I do have one crochet kit. Yeah, I think I just have one. And then the lamb. How adorable is that? I was planning on, I was going to make, they had a Highlander cow, Luke the Highlander cow, and I was almost, that was the one I wanted to make. And then I kind of was going back and forth, and I'm like, I should make one that I have a lot more kits of, and those are gone. So I'm like, okay, good thing I didn't decide to start it. But then there's Dirk Zebra, and this is the crocheted kit. And I just love a zebra. Isn't that adorable? So these kits are up on the website. And I said I had the Highlander cow that I reordered. Let's see, there were 4 of them I had to reorder. Highlander cow. Oh, there was a giraffe, Ziggy giraffe. Absolutely adorable. There was a bunny. There must be one more thing, and I can't think of what it is. Oh, well. Anyway, it'll show up. But, you know, feel free to look at the website and see what I do have in stock and what will be coming in. And actually, guess what? While I was away, I came back, and what did I find above my door? There is another mourning dove. This one looks like a really small one. So I don't think it was the pair that were here earlier this spring. So anyway, I don't care. I'm just happy that there's another mourning dove up there. Okay. And then also I wanted to mention, if you're wondering about this little top, this is a sample. It's so simple. It's just 2 rectangles put together at the top, and then there's a beautiful big, oh wait a minute, did we have this on wrong? I might. I'm trying to remember. No, I think they're both the same length, but big slit on both sides. And that is the project that was on the cover of the Noro Summer Magazine, and that was that one, just done in a different colorway. But super easy. It's just like I think it's like a 2-row repeat pattern, so it's really, really simple. And I mean, no shaping at all. What's not to love about that? So we still have time for some summer knitting before we have to start thinking about fall, even though we are definitely thinking about fall. I've been, ordering. We're all are the shops. We're all ordering our fall, or ordering, or already have ordered our fall stock in. Let's see. So I think that is going to get me to the spinning part of our show, and weaving also. Now I had mentioned. So anyway, I have this project that I want to do, that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years, and it's a I can't remember the name of the it's a quilt, crazy quilt, ragged quilt, rag quilt. That's what it's called, because it has ragged edges around the squares. But first, what you do for this particular quilt is that you weave your little squares, and then they get sewn on top of these cotton flannel squares that get trimmed, and then you wash it, and then it gets all raggedy looking, which just totally appeals to me, because I'm really not. I can absolutely marvel over some of these quilts that are just amazingly pieced, and colors and everything. But that's just not my cup of tea. I am more the primitive, the easy. Well, I don't want to say easier, but just the more primitive, simple ones. And I've also been following this girl on Facebook, Instagram, and she does the slow sewing. So all her work is done by hand, and she does a lot of it is kind of not finished, and they're just different. I have to get her name so I can. I'll if I can do. I'll put it in the notes below so you can check her out. But that kind of quilting just totally appeals to me, and I like the idea right now of doing a project that I don't care how long this quilt takes me. I never feel that way about anything. Maybe it's because I'm being honest with myself and knowing it's not going to get done this summer. You have other things to do, and you will end up putting it to the side. But I'm anxious to get started, and I'm excited because I did finally decide that my woven squares, are going to be out of a Jacob Fleece, which I did find. And Jacob Fleece, in case you don't know about Jacob Fleece, you can get like single colors, like there's like a lilac color fleece, and I'm not sure why they're called lilac. I started reading about it and I don't remember the reason, but most of the time the Jacob Fleece are spotted, and they have different colors. So this is a lamb's fleece. I got 3 pounds of a lamb Jacob Fleece, and I'm going to show you. Now this is washed. This fleece is particular. I don't mind the smell of fleece, but this is a very, very, or I'm not used to it, very fragrant fleece, and you could literally smell it in 2 plastic bags. You could smell it. So anyway, I took a little bit home and I washed it, and it still smells sheepy, which I'm totally happy with. But let me just show you the staple. So you could see that it has like really, really dark, and then there's the white, and then you'll find some that there'll be some gray spots. I think this is mostly, I haven't really looked at the whole fleece, to be honest with you. Usually there's some kind of like lighter brown or gray color, or what you can do, like, okay, look at this. Okay, so this is a lock right here, and you can see how there's some white and there's some dark in there, and then you see the tips, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about that a little bit. But you see how long that staple is? It's crimpy, and it's very stretchy. So what I like to do, and I did start carding. So what I do is I'm going to wash this, and then I'll card it. But what I do is I'm going to card the colors separately, because then I can do whatever I want when I go to spin it. I might even blend. I usually do that. Is I'll take some of the dark and a little bit of the white, and I will blend it to get kind of like a gray in between color. So will probably do that. But when I'm carding, I will end up, and here's, okay, so here's my basket. And I did start to card. So here's the white. So I was separating out the white. Now you will see that there are little bits of dark in there too. And that's perfectly fine, because when I spin, I'll get a little bit of that in there. But these are Rolags. You see how light and airy they are? And so I did a whole bunch of white. I'm really happy. I've got quite a bit of white in here. Because sometimes it's hard to get a lot of white when you're doing this. And then I started also doing some dark. And then I just wanted to show you what I like to do when I'm spinning. Now, if you noticed here, one time when I was spinning, I had gotten this beautiful border Leicester fleece. But the tips, they can call like a fleece is tippy. The tips were really, really sunburned on it. And the thing is that even if you tried carding it, the tips were just breaking off and then getting into my fiber and then creating what they call neps, which are little bits in your wool. So that when you go to spin, those little short pieces create these little some people don't consider them imperfections. For what I want to do, I don't want the neps in there. I want those out. So if you look at this fleece, you can see how, unless they're covered, they cover the fleeces, you are going to get the ends that are going to be lighter. They get either, sunburned or suntanned, but they're going to get bleached a little bit from the sun. Now, what I like to do, and that's on the whole fleece, like even the white, I noticed it with the white. So what I'll do is I will wash this, and then, and I know it's going to sound tedious, but you know what? Once you get into it, it's not a big deal. And especially if you really want you don't want those little tips on there, because also another thing is when you go to card the light in with the dark, it's going to, of course, make the whole fiber a little lighter. And I want that really, really dark as much as I can get it. So if I take this off, then I'm happier. So you don't want to cut these off, because it's going to give you a cut straight edge. So what I do, and you can have something that they call like a flicker, which I used to have, but I don't know where it is now. Or I used to also have a dog comb that I would take my locks like this. Now I found this little brush. I don't even know where this came from. And then what I just do is I just flick the ends like this. So you can see that those little tips are gone now. And what they do is they go onto the little carder here. This thing is great, except every once in a while I get a little too rough, and the whole inside of this pops right out. So either I have to like really glue it in there, or find myself something that works a little bit better. But that's all you do, is you just keep flicking this off. All those little ends come off. You can see a little short little nep in there. Get that out of there. And here, see what's left over? So if I took this out, this is what's going to be in my fiber, and I don't want that in there. So we get rid of that. And then I thought I'll just show you a little bit more. So then I'm going to open this up like that. And then I have my carders. And I'm going to just kind of lash that onto my hand carders like this. It's not a lot. You also don't want to overload your carders. And then I'm just going to just gently card my fiber. And what happens is it goes from one carder onto the other. And I see a little bit here that I'm going to take out. Now also this will take out this little bit of little vegetation in here, but quite often what will happen is you end up with a lap full of like little bits and pieces of hay and seed and all that kind of stuff in there. And that's all you do. But you can see how it's lining up my fiber. But the other wonderful thing about this fleece, it's so unbelievably soft. Oh my goodness, it's so soft. So I'm just going to take that, and then I can also see there's a little nep right there. I'm going to take that right out so I don't have to bother with it. Lots of times if you still find stuff as you're spinning, you just pluck it out as you spin. Or not. It's totally, it's your it's your project, your fiber, what you want to do. Now this has a little vegetation still in it, and I could see myself picking this out as I go. Okay, but anyway, so there's, oh, and then I rolled it off, and that's my rolag all ready to spin. Yeah, this still has some stuff in it. Well, we'll see how much of it comes out when I go to spin it. Because the other thing too, especially with a lamb fleece, you don't want to card it too much, because that's just going to make it easier for fibers to break and to get more neps in your fiber. So you just want to be careful with that. So, but anyway, this is so soft and spongy, and it's really, it just feels like next to your skin fiber. It's wonderful. So I thought what I would do, I started spinning before I came on. I said, you know what, my this is what's nice too about the electric spinner, is it's always up and ready to go. I don't bother putting it away in its case, because as far as I'm concerned, that's its travel case. It could just be up and out, up and ready to go any minute. So what I'm just going to do is I am just going to do a quick little, I started to spin some, and it was spinning so nicely. Let's see how well I can get this in. Yeah, I guess I can get it in here. All right, what I might just do, let me do this. Let me put the thing down on this table so I can get this closer to me. And I'll push back. Let me get my treadle here so I can do this. All right, let's see what I can do here. I think you can see it a little bit. Or maybe, there we go, if I move this back here a little bit. All right, well, it's not going to be like a big major demonstration or anything, but I just wanted to show you, and it also gives me the chance to be able to work on it a little bit more. There we go. And I have it all set so that all I have to do, okay, you need to move. Maybe if I do that, there we go. Okay, so I started spinning some of this, and just have to turn it on and treadle, and there we go. But I just have to draft it out, and it just pulls right through onto the bobbin. Oh, this fiber is just beautiful, and I can't now wait. Oh, and that also, there was one more thing I wanted to also show you. See, this is, I don't need to have the treadle, pumping the treadle. Just the fiber, drafting out the fiber is just mesmerizing enough. This is just lovely. So the yarn that I'm aiming for, because I'm going to, this is a singles that I'm spinning right now. So what I'm aiming for, I'll just pull this back, and this is how you can tell what a 2-ply is going to look like, is you just pull it back like this and let it twist on itself, or ply on itself. There we go. Okay, I do have a couple little slubby spots right there. Okay, but there we go. But I love, oh, it's such a beautiful chocolate brown. I don't know if I can get this any closer to you. Let's see, so you can really see what it looks like. That is not the perfect yarn right there, but I've got a little slub right there, but that's the idea. And then once you wash this, So what it's going to do, you can see right there on my bobbin that it's spinning up on the bobbin. And then what I'll do is I'll just keep moving if I remember, because I'm right in front of here in this bobbin. I'm not used to such a big bobbin. And usually actually when I'm spinning, I'm kind of sideways so I can kind of see what's going on. I just have to remember to move my yarn, otherwise you get this great big buildup in the middle of your yarn, of your bobbin there. Okay, then I have to undo this so it doesn't. There we go. Let me just wind this back on there so it don't. There we go. It's going to wind back up onto the bobbin. Okay, then we're done. And then I'll just wind it on here so it doesn't go anywhere. I cannot tell you how satisfying it is to spin. It's just such a wonderful thing to do. And the other thing too is working with the lamb's fleece like this, you've got to be really careful. I have to make myself be very, very cautious when I am washing the fleece, because especially with a lamb's fleece, because it's much more delicate and it's so soft. Sometimes the fiber is a little bit shorter too. But so I have it in the sink and I put a lot of soap in it, and you let it sit, and you let all the dirt and the grease and everything just kind of come out of the water. And you do this a couple times, but you have to resist the temptation to want to play with it. And I am very, very tempted by that. And I actually had a lamb's fleece, an Icelandic lamb's fleece that I ruined probably about a good half of it because I played with it too much. And I have to make myself not do that. You have to just let it sit, let the stuff come out of it, and then just not play with it, because the fiber will just start to felt together, and that's not a good thing. So, but it's just so tempting. I can't. I know I'm not the only one, but it is very tempting to play with it. So okay, so I wanted to, before I left you today, I wanted to show you. So I had talked about the Zoom loom, which is over there, which is a newer version, because I don't think there's anybody out there right now making the Weave-Its. There was somebody that was making, and they called it the Weave-Et, and that just, I don't know, nothing, that never got to. It was a great product and it was wonderful, but it just never went anywhere. So unfortunately, that is no longer. But the Weave-It, and a lot of you are probably going to recognize this. Now, I picked these up in, what I like to call like antique/junk shops, and I have two of them. And these are the same size as the Zoom loom. Now this one, I have different ones. Wait a minute here. Okay, so this one, I don't know whether they call this, if it's plastic or what they call Bakelite, but you could see right there. So it has these, so basically what you're doing is, and you can weave all different kinds of patterns with these, but they do have numbers on here and what direction you're supposed to start on. And then it also, this is what you're using, is one of these really, really long needles. And then there's directions in here how to use it. So I do actually have some of the original paperwork in here. And it's interesting, like these were made in Osterville, Massachusetts. But here we go. And so that goes in here. Now, I thought I had, all right, now this is another plastic one. Okay, there you go. So another one here. And then these are the squares that they make up. This is the size of it, and this was done with like a worsted weight yarn. There you go. That's what it looks like. And you get these nice little kind of finished edges, and you just sew them together. But then also, I'm not sure which came first, the wood or I would think, I don't know. Here's a wood one. Now this one, Oh, this is Canadian. I don't know, I can't really, I think it says Canadian something, but then I also see Medford, Mass, United States. Oh, Canadian patent, maybe. Okay, whatever that means. But yeah, so there's the wooden one. And then this one also has, and there's lots of books out there now that have, this has lots of directions. There's some directions in here on how to sew them together. And then also, oh, here it is. Weave it. 15 cents. Can you believe that? 15 cents. All right, this one has how to weave the different squares. So I think what I might do is do some basic weave-its first, some basic patterns first. Like this has a diamond in the center of it. You can see that. And then, you know, do some of these little fancier ones. But I'm really excited because, I mean, this is going to be great because using the fleece that has all different colors in it, you can't go wrong. All these colors, they're all going to go blend beautifully. I just have to figure out what I'm going to use for my background. I kind of have a thought about that, but we'll see. I'm going to do the squares first, and then I'll worry about what I'm going to do for the rest of it. So there we go. So I've got these. So I think what I'd like to do is use my antique ones, and I won't use the zoom loom because it's the same thing. And what's more fun to use something that is antique, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, here's one that was done in cotton. Yeah, so that will be fun. So maybe this might entice you to get your weave it looms out. Or if you don't have one of these, to get yourself a zoom loom, and you can work with a zoom loom instead. Okay, put these all together. Okay, so yeah, I can't wait. So I'm going to card up the rest of that washed fiber that I have, and then yeah, it's very, very tempting for me to start. Well, obviously I have started spinning, but what I like to do is I like to get like a whole basket full of roving, and that's very satisfying just in itself to see this just big overflowing basket of fiber. And that's the other thing too. So I need to do white. I'll need to wash some more so I can see what other colors are in this fleece too, and introduce those colors in as well. And then what's really, really fun is once you have the basket full of all your rolags, so you've got a whole basket full of all this fluffy goodness, and then you just put the basket next to you and you just start spinning. And what I love to do is just take a little white, a little dark, a little mixed, and I just do it however it's coming to me. Or I might just break off one of these big white rolags and then introduce some black in there, because you'll get this bobbin full of all multicolors. But then what you do is then you spin another bobbin of all these multicolors. And then once you have the two bobbins spun up, then you get an empty bobbin and you ply those two yarns together, and that's where the magic really happens, because now you've got dark and white and it just gets all mixed up, and you've got this just beautiful skein of yarn. Now I might decide that some of the squares I'll just do some solid. So I mean, that's a possibility. I'll probably do that too. But I have to say, I just love having that multicolor going on. It's kind of like Noro au naturel before Noro was around. So maybe that's why that whole thing appeals to me, and Noro appeals to me as well too. So anyway, okay, well, I'm gonna let you go and have a good rest of your day. And thank you again for joining me. And I hope that maybe this is inspiring you to maybe think about spinning, or maybe you've got a wheel or drop spindle and maybe you want to take some out. Summer is such a perfect time to do some spinning, learn how to spin, learn how to weave, and doing these little squares. I mean, what a great way and really inexpensive way to start out. You don't have to invest in a big loom, and you can even take cardboard. This is how I first started to weave. Is I took a piece of cardboard. I found this book, and I literally, it was my hand spun yarn, Jacob, and what you did is you wove around the cardboard, and my cardboard was probably only like this big, and you just wove around, and you had like and by going around you had no seams, so when you slid it off the cardboard you actually had this little bag. And I washed it and I felted it so it was all nice and firm. There were no holes in it or anything. The bottom was all closed up. Everything was, and then I think I probably crocheted a little strap on it, and I had this really cute little hand woven out of my hand spun yarn. And like I said, there was just this wonderful feeling about doing something from beginning to end. And I think that's why I got into spinning. I started knitting first, but the whole idea of making your own yarn and and you know, like I said, doing it right from beginning to end. There's so many things that we can all do. Like it's how maybe like a woodworker feels when not only do they go out and they find the piece of wood that they want to create what they're creating out of that piece of wood. And I guess it's the same thing. Well, anyway, I got off on another tangent, so I'm going to let you go. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you again next week. So you all take great care and enjoy whatever crafting that you're doing. Thank you. Bye-bye.